Perhaps the most obvious impact of the pandemic has been our inability to meet other people. I'm going to put it to you that getting back into being social safely is one of the most important things you can do in 2021 for your physical and mental health. Let me explain more. My name is Jonathan Bradshaw. Welcome to this week's Metology Minute. No specific research this week, but permit me, if I may, just to speak to you just for a few minutes, because one of the things about creating the subject of metology and doing all the research that I do is I come across so much research as to why social interaction is important. What I try and do, obviously as a social skills coach, is help people do it well. But why we should be social is a slightly different thing. And I've got so much research. I have got over 500 articles related to neuroscience, to mental health, which is different emotions, and then to physical health, that all relate to how social interaction is beneficial. From a neurological perspective, social interaction has been shown to help dementia, to improve our brain function. And indeed, do you realize the brain sees social pain the same way? It relates to it the same way, deals with it the same way, feels it the same way as physical pain. Being rejected by somebody is just as painful for your brain as being punched or breaking your arm or breaking your leg. That's a really interesting insight from neuroscience. In terms of mental health, rates of depression, happiness, psychological well-being, all improve when we're with other people. We feel connected, part of a community, bonded with other people. And conversely, the loneliness epidemic, the impact of loneliness negatively on us is something that I'm sure you will have seen in mainstream media for quite a few years now. It's becoming ever more important. Politicians talking about a loneliness epidemic. In the UK, certainly, Theresa May, the ex-Prime Minister before the current one, Boris Johnson, she talked about that. She actually made a loneliness czar in the UK, someone to start focusing on this problem. And then COVID came along, imagine that. And then finally, physically. Some research has shown that not being socially interactive, not feeling connected is as physically bad for us as up to 15 cigarettes a day. But that's just one quite common stat. There is so much on how people who are socially engaged live longer. We become more positive, which relates to mental health, but that in itself or in conjunction with that, we tend to live longer. Physical health is impacted hugely, incredibly actually, you might think, by social interaction. It's the subject at my heart, social skills, how we connect, interact and communicate. And surprisingly or coincidentally, the COVID pandemic has put that whole area into more focus. And I do hope to share a lot more about the benefits of those three areas in the future. I'm working on a couple of projects which I will be launching later in the year, telling you about. But yes, it is such an important aspect of our lives. This week, I'm simply reminding you that when you can, and it's going to be weird, as a couple of Metology minutes ago I mentioned, it's quite hard to go back out there when you haven't been social for a while. But as soon as you feel you can and it's safe to do so, we need to get social again. We need to start meeting each other for our own mental and physical health. It's what we do as humans. I'm looking forward, as I'm sure you are, to getting back to doing so when it is safe to do so. I hope that's food for thought. I hope you can get out there and do socialize when it's safe. And I'll see you next week for another Metology Minute, exploring the fascinating behavioral science powering superb social skills. See you in a week's time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.